thought I'd give you a little bit of an update on how the orchard's going. I haven't probably showed the orchard for a little while. We are the 2nd of September today, so officially supposed to be spring, and we have had some beautiful warm days, and we actually haven't had a frost for about a week, which is great. So we've got lots of blossoms happening. Our cherry trees are in blossom, our peach trees are in blossom. It's such a beautiful time. Even the new peach tree I've got over here is in blossom. Our new plum trees, they've got beautiful leaves and lovely blossom on the apricot tree. The orchard's getting a little bit of renovation. The chooks are locked out of the orchard, and I think I'm going to keep them out until probably March next year. When you have so many chooks in the orchard, they have just really given it a bit of a hammering and have dug lots of holes to have dust baths, which is lovely for them, but it needs a rest. And last year, this lovely peach tree, they got on and ate lots of the peaches, so I'm going to have a little bit of a rest in the orchard and trying to give it a good water and plant some grass around these areas that are looking a bit sad. No leaves on that apple tree yet, but there are some leaves on this apple tree. It's just such a beautiful time when everything starts to pop and look happy. Oh, even our new little nectarine tree's got some blossom. The pear tree's starting to get some leaves, the quince tree's looking lovely, and even the figs are starting to get some green. It's all so good. Still getting a few mandarins that we're picking. Orange tree we're nearly finished, there's a couple left. But at least this year we did get some oranges, which is better than last year. Kumquat tree is laden. I can't even give those away. And still heaps of limes on the lime tree and the lemon tree down the back. This little cherry tree that we planted when we arrived, hopefully we'll get some cherries from that this year. So the orchard is looking good, and I'm hoping that I can give it a bit of a rest and a renovation over the next sort of 5 or 6 months. Show you what's happening in the garden. So now that the chooks are not in the orchard, they are truly free-ranging. But you'll see we've put netting around the veggie garden. None of them have worked out how to get up on the raised garden bed yet, but it's probably going to happen. And we've had to net round the strawberries and the blueberries and the asparagus, but they are truly free-ranging, and it's lovely to see. I love seeing them out here in the grass, because there's lots of lovely grass, and they're just venturing where they want to go and eating all the bugs in the grass. But yes, we are having to net the veggie garden, and we had to put a net or a little fence around the raspberry patch, or the big canoe, because was it yesterday, the day before, I came out and there was a bunch of chickens in the raspberry patch, and they'd even pulled out some of the raspberry plants. So my handyman Robert has put a nice fence in so far, because we can see some raspberries starting to pop, and I'm hoping that these ones are nice summer raspberries. So we'll see how that goes. What are we harvesting? Oh, sorry about the wind, hopefully you can hear the totes. Still got heaps of lovely lettuce plants. I need to tie up these peas because they've had a bit of a battering. In the raised garden beds, our sprouting purple broccoli is just starting to come on now, so we'll be eating broccoli for quite a while. They take a long time to grow, but once they do start sprouting, they're fantastic. So we'll be eating lots of that. Still got lots of Swiss chard or silver beet. We've got some peas growing along the fence there. I think they're snow peas. Sometimes I get my snow peas and my snaps mixed up in the containers, and so sometimes it's a little bit of a, oh, what is that? Some lettuce over there I need to plant. In here we've got perennial spinach, more. There's some beetroot and some chard and lots of lettuce. I chives are just starting to come back. Not really sure what this is. Looks like cabbage leaves, but that's not a cabbage, so it could be a... Oh, actually, I think it's a Brussels sprout, a stumpy Brussels sprout. There's garlic in here. We've had beautiful coriander, but it's just starting to bolt now because it's getting hot. Some bok choy that's gone to seed that I've just been leaving for the bees. And all this purple sprouting broccoli that I'm going to have to come out and chop, and then chop the whole plant down. Look at the chooks having a wee rest. Just planted some more brassicas in here, some more collies. In the main garden, it has been so windy that the path or the mulch has been getting blown off my my patches, which is annoying. But all this is sprouting broccoli that self-sowed in my garden, and I've just let it go, and finally it's producing. Now that we've got this chook net, I have to jump over. So we're harvesting broccoli. We've got some beetroot that we can get out, lots of nice leeks. Hello, Rusty. Starting to get some little snap peas growing, which is good. But yeah, lots of broccoli. Starting to, my Brussels are nearly done. There's some self-sown potatoes in there. I have planted a small row of potatoes, but I need to get on and plant some more potatoes. We are planning to have a frost in a couple of days. So we've got some broad beans happening. We've got broad beans here, and then we've got 2 lots on down there as well. These onions here are all starting to go to seed, so I might start to pull those out, roast some of them. That's rocket that's gone to seed, and I'm just leaving it for the bees. But yes, look at all my mulch has been blown off. We've got lots of carrots still, and some more carrots, beetroot and parsnips. And this fennel here that I just sort of leave, and it just keeps regrowing, which is interesting. I didn't know it did that. So there's little bulbs here, that's the original one. And then these little side shoots, and then it did flower, so whether or not we'll get some little volunteers. But yes, they're all potatoes. A bit like Jerusalem artichokes, once they're in there, hard to get rid of them. Some spinach that's not doing so well. And there's some more spinach over this area too. This beetroot has all been self-sown in here, so hopefully it will start to bulb up now that it's a little bit warmer. This celery's still doing nice, and there's a couple of parsnips in here. Planted some radishes here, and looks like they're starting to come up, which is good. More rocket that's going to seed, and these are more celery plants here. Beetroot. There's lots of lettuce around. More carrots and broad beans. This is where I planted the potatoes that, actually I think that's the first little one, which is good. So yeah, still plenty to eat and harvest, and now we start to look forward to getting some beds ready for some spring summer veggies. So I'll show you how the little tomato seed. So an update on the tomato seedlings. We are exactly 2 weeks today since I planted them, and if you remember, I had them on the heat mat, and it is 6:45 this morning, and it's 20.9 in Celsius. So we've had a really good germination. The Siberian that I planted on the heat mat, sorry, my finger's in the road, has come up good. The ones that were not on the heat mat, only one has come up. So it just shows you how good the heat mat is. But now we've got, one of the cherries hasn't come up, and the beefsteaks took a little bit longer, but they're coming up now. So now that majority of them, there's a couple missing here, but we'll take that hit. So now that they've germinated, I'm going to take them off the heat mat, because they don't need the heat mat now, and put them, make sure they're near the window. because they'll start getting a bit leggy and get too tall, like this one here, and they want to go to the light. So we'll make sure they get light every day. I will start to repot some of them. I'll give them a little bit longer. It would be nice to get a true leaf come out first before I pot them, but we'll see how we go, because now that I've got a free heat mat, I'll start potting up my capsicums and some more tomatoes. But what I did a couple of weeks ago too was with my loofahs, and another way to start some seedlings is in a paper towel. Pop your little seedlings in a moist paper towel and in a dark position, make sure it's moist, and they germinate. So I had 2 germinate from there, or 3 actually, so I've just popped them in a pot. It is way too early to put a loofah out. I'm not going to be able to put them out in the ground till probably November, so I'll just love them along. But there was one in here too, I can't see those. So yeah, I've got some more potting to do today. But really happy with that germination, and the heat mat makes a big difference. They'll slow down now because they're not going to be on the heat, but this area gets some beautiful sun during the day. They certainly don't need the lid on either once they're germinated, so you want to keep them so they can get used to a little bit of normal temperatures. But they won't be going into the ground until they're we get a little bit warmer. So here's an update on the tomato plants that I started middle of August. So they're probably about 3.5 weeks old. I up-potted them about a week and a half ago into bigger pots, and now just got all their names on them. Still got some spare that I go, do I need those? Might pot them up. Here the loofahs are going great. In the meantime, we've had some zucchinis born, a yellow and a black zucchini, and I've started some flowers. Some different kinds of marigolds, a couple of different types of marigolds, a couple of sunflowers that haven't come up. The one row of sunflowers has come up. These are marigolds I got from my sister, and they're marigolds as well. This one I'm looking forward to because it's a what do they call it? A poached eggplant. So it looks like a poached egg, the actual flower, but none of them have come up yet, so it might take a little bit longer. I haven't had these on the heat mat at all. They're just doing their thing. I've got some capsicums on the heat mat now and a few more tomatoes. One of my capsicums that I was waiting for hasn't come up, so we'll just have to give it another shot. But so far, looking very good. Happy with the result, because we are booked for a week of frost this week, and we know we're in for another month of frost, so these are not going to go out until they're at least another month old. So that's the seedlings so far. So just checking out the asparagus patch. We've been picking asparagus now for probably a month. We've probably had a good couple of meals. So this is a nice size to pick, and then I'm letting some of the younger plants go to frond, because you don't want to overpick your asparagus patch. We want it to last for 20 years. And if you take all the spears off, it has no energy to store for next harvest. So happy with how it's going. We had a frost, not last night, the night before, but it doesn't seem to have affected the plants too much, but they're looking good. So that's a bit of an update on the garden and the orchard. I'll end this video here. I'll just show you. I'm down the asparagus patch. Just picked a little bunch for dinner. There's a big fat one there, but there's enough for us because they're quite long, so you chop them in half. But they're beautiful looking asparaguses. So really happy with how the crop's going. So thanks again for watching. Till next time, we'll see you back on the farm.